ago. But we're here, man. 702-586-7857. Give us a call. We're going to give away a pair of 100% goggles as well as Fly Racing 5-point pivot knee guards as well. 702-586-PULP. Give us a call. Zach Osborne, Daniel Blair are coming on the phone to talk Supercross and more. Fly Racing, Moto 60 Show. Thank you to the folks at Fly Racing. 25 years of Fly. Yeah, you look at the great gear they have, whether it is the kinetic mesh, the Evo gear, BOA closure system on the pants as well is great. Formula S helmet's amazing, and check it out, man. It's really cool stuff. Get it at your local dealer, and 25 years of Fly. You look at Max Anstey, RJ Hampshire winning races in their Fly Racing gear. Thank you to Fly. Get Vertex Pistons, 100% Zools, Plum Creek Funding, Seat Concepts, Maxis, Decal Works, all on board with us as well. And taking your calls over there in the corner, holding things down. Back from vacation. Tits, what's up?
Yes, back from vacation, perpetually.
Yeah,
yep.
Again. Thanks for coming in, though. Appreciate it.
Condolences on your loss. Congratulations on your win.
Let's let people watch the video.
Okay.
It just dropped. The Kiefer versus Mathis Racer X online video. Yeah. Some good, some bad, some ups, some downs.
Some questions.
Some questions. Yes.
Lots of questions.
Lots of questions. Marks, what's up? How are you?
Hi.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Fly Racing coming in Moto City Show with Zach Osborne and Daniel Blair. We got the LCQ Challenge tomorrow. Marks, we got a bunch of prop bets rolling in.
Oh, they are rolling in.
We got prop bets happening.
Yeah.
We got we're a little behind on where we were last year, money-wise, but let's hope we break 100. Think we break 100?
I think we can.
I think we can break 100.
I hope we can. And if not, I'm going to be very mad at everyone that didn't contribute.
Yeah, let's break 100, everybody. Let's get rolling. PulpMX.com to buy a raffle ticket to win a 2024 YZ450F, or we have 21 other prizes. Marks, we just got viral goggles and some meat. So, we had
I would really love to get 22nd raffle draw for that meat, to be honest.
Yeah.
From our
did you
dear
buy
friend.
a raffle ticket?
I don't think I'm eligible, am I?
I think you're eligible. I don't know.
All right.
Well, maybe not. No.
Am I eligible?
Because I draw the ticket.
You work the ticket thing, so no, you're not.
I'm not eligible. But
Tits is.
I heard meat, and I want to get in on this.
Yeah. Tits can do it.
I'll split it with you.
I want the meat.
Absolutely. Check out the video on Racer X, by the way. It just dropped. It's fun. Fun video. Thank you to Yamaha for the bikes, the Loner 85, the Loner 125. Thank you for my bike, too, I guess, right? The Loner as well. Get Data, Get and Athena. The Honda HRC guys using the Get ECUs on their 450s and 250s, I should say, using the data logger as well as the whole shot device as well on the 450 side of things. And two-stroke CDIs for the KTM fuel-injected bikes are flying off the shelves. It's a must-have, I guess. And so please check out Get and Athena. We will give a discount to anybody who emails us using the contact form at pulpmex.com. Give you a Pulp Show listener discount. 100% as well. You look at Jett Lawrence with 100% goggles. He's racing against Cooper Webb with 100% goggles. And Pulp 30's the code to save on goggles, on mountain bike gear, on casual wear, Ride 100. Great company. They've been around since the 1980s, and they whether it's street bike racing, dirt bike racing, MLB, bicycles. They got Peter Sagan as well, like a top tour guy. They do a lot of things across a lot of different sports. The guys at 100%, and use the code PULP30 to save with those guys. Thank you to 100%. We'll tell you more about the other guys later. But let's get our first guest on. This man, he's a 250 Supercross winner. He's a 250 motocross winner. He's a 450 MX winner. He's a 450 Supercross winner. He is a GP winner. And it's Zach Osborne. What's up, Zacho?
Chilling. Just got back from the kart track with my son. So
okay.
Actually, need a nap, but I'm good.
I'm looking forward to it's not the time now, but I'm looking forward to getting you back on for the outdoors where you can give us an unbiased view of that Joey Savacci guy's chances in 250 MX. Looking forward to that.
Who?
Yeah, exactly.
Never heard of her.
Yeah, no, me neither. 702-586-7857. Give us a call. We got some lines open still. Well, Zacho, did you watch the video with Kiefer and I?
I haven't seen it yet because yesterday when I was trying to settle my bet with Paul P, I was told Monday, so I wasn't really anticipating that popping out today.
Yeah,
so I've got to set some time aside and do that.
I was not either aware of that. So, I was shocked that Cudby got it done so well. But great job for Cudby for getting it up. Okay. Let's go. Let's start with Jett. So they were tied not that long ago. They were tied, and then Jett did what he did at Nashville, and then Jett what he did what he did at Philly, and yeah, man, an absolute clinic again. Really cool track in Philly in the sense of that sand section and what he was doing in there, and then a quad in the rhythm closest to the press box area. It was impressive, man. I'm not telling you anything you don't know, Zacho, but it was really impressive to watch him.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, for me, the most impressive thing of the whole race was just the first turn.
Yes,
cut down.
yes, absolutely.
I
That
mean,
too.
it was honestly risky business in his position, I would say.
Yep.
But he never hesitated, and in that moment, hesitation is what's going to get you.
Yeah.
And it looked like he had eyes in the back of his head. When he turned left with authority.
Right.
And was pretty much it.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. I should have brought that up first. That was impressive. It was impressive in the moment, and then when I watched replays, I was like, holy shit. Like, he came close.
I mean, I instantly saw it on TV. I was like, holy crap, that was just like a see you later move right there. Honestly, broke the back of everyone else. He just, he would have been maybe, I don't know, at least top 5 without that shutdown. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, that put him, like, basically second, right? And then, straight away to the lead, and then done deal.
So, let's talk about this. 12-point lead, Salt Lake, Denver, not great tracks for Coop, huh?
I said this a couple weeks ago when we talked about it, but definitely the hard pack favors Jett a little bit, in my opinion. And for whatever reason, I feel like whenever the corners get low on the hard pack tracks, even when they get low, they just don't favor Coop as much as like somewhere like, say, Dallas or St. Louis, where you can turn at the bottom. There's tons of traction. You can still, triple out of the corner or whatever the obstacle is. That's where kind of his moneymaker, in my opinion.
Yep.
But yeah, I think it favors Jett a little bit at this point.
Okay. Let me ask you this. This probably brings up some bad memories for you at some point, but take us through this as a racer's point of view. Your Cooper Webb, your Eli Tomac, your second, your third, then Coop passes Tomac into second. He's got everything on the line. He's been the second best rider this year. Track's set up nicely for him. And he talks about how he got arm pump. And, obviously he lost the last podium spot to Jason. All of that. What's that like as a racer? Like, you're just helpless, and how does that happen to a great guy like Cooper Webb, who has won a bunch of races, has been in this position before? He knows he needs to at least keep the damage to 3 on the 18, but he can't do it. What's going on in Cooper's head?
I mean, it's a terrible position.
Right, yeah.
Arm pump obviously, right? But I mean, arm pump at that stage, at that level, is your worst nightmare. If I'm Coop, I would probably go. I've never heard him struggle with it. Like, we were together a lot and trained together a lot, and I don't really ever recall him getting pumped up, And obviously he has a few times this year after the comment at Seattle, and just sometimes I have felt like he could have closed the race better for some reason. I felt like at Nashville he just didn't quite make any sort of headway there at the end of the race on Eli. So I think there's signs of it kind of pretty commonly at this point. So if I'm him, I'm going directly to get the surgery.
Yeah. Really? You really are?
What I know.
Yeah.
I had it. It changed my career. I should have had it 3 or 4 years sooner. And yeah, it's a game changer. But yeah, back to your question.
Yeah.
I think he was, it's the ultimate letdown, right? You're riding around, your heart rate's, 30 beats lower than what it could be. That you can't push because your arms are locked up. So it's just like, what am I doing out here? I'm going to get a third or fourth place. And the Jason pass was just insult to injury. I don't think Jason did anything malicious. It was just him going for a podium, and it just, it is what it is kind of thing.
Well, that arm pump surgery, though, it doesn't work for some guys, right? It doesn't always work. So it's a little risky.
I think there's a couple variations of it. From the experience I've had from the one I had, it's pretty successful.
Okay. But okay, and this is a question that no one really knows, and you would, if you had the answer and you could fix it, you'd make $1 million, Zacho, which you don't really need because you have millions. But
Oh my God.
how
My
does
feelings are lower than yours, Steve.
how does a guy like Webb get arm pump in that situation? Like what? So, again, not nerves, been in that position before. Track wasn't anything gnarly. How does that? Why does that happen to a guy like that? Do you think? Do you have any sort of like theory? Because everybody, you hold on too tight, you breathe, you don't breathe. But in your experience, why does that develop?
Yeah, I mean, there's a million different reasons. There's, physiological reasons. There's health reasons.
Mm-hmm.
There's, just a lot of different things. In Coop's particular case, I really have no idea why it's so sudden onset and more common for him. And like I said, I'm kind of assuming that based on some of the comments he's made.
Yeah.
He on the podium.
Yeah,
and
he talked about arm pump and everything. But
yeah, it's not like I talk to him daily or something like that. But
like when I ride, Zacho, and I'm shitty and I'm old. But like if I case something, I gotta hold on really, really tight because I'm freaking out because I'm casing something. Arm pump, boom. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, multiply that by 55 million, and you'll be somewhere at that level,
Yeah, yeah.
And that's all it takes is one small moment or one small dip of the front end that gives you that discomfort, and you clinch up by 3, 4, 5%, and then that builds up throughout the race, and then you have catastrophic arm pump.
Yeah. No, it's interesting because. Yeah, you just, Coop's an all-timer, right? So you're just like, how does he suffer just like, the fucking vet C rider at Glen Helen,
Yeah, and I think that's maybe a little bit of a common misconception from a fan standpoint is that oh, they're winning, it must be easy. And I always tell guys that I work with or am around, it never gets any easier. You just get better. And the level gets higher and the pressure goes up. That's pretty much it. But it never gets oh wow, I just did a 30. Let's go have some ice cream. That's not the case. Ever.
Yeah. Chase Sexton rode really well this past weekend, maybe his best ever of the season, best ever this season. Let's switch. Let's talk about the mechanic change first. Obviously, Brandon Zimmerman out at KTM. Kyle Defoe is in. You worked with Dave Feeney forever. You did have a lot of mechanics as well over your career. And I was a mechanic. Obviously, business as usual. Shouldn't affect Chase Sexton one way or another, right?
I mean, yeah, yes and no. It depends on how attached to it he was.
Mm-hmm.
I know, you just build trust with a guy over time, like I did with Dave, and like I did my guy Geico Derek. I still talk to him quite often.
Mm-hmm.
You just have a relationship. It's almost like I don't know. It's strange. Even when you see your mechanic with someone else after, you're like, that's not cool. You almost feel like cheated on him or something like that. But I think Chase will rebound. I don't think, from what I understand, it wasn't really Chase's
it wasn't Chase's
fault or whatever you want to say.
Right. Chase did not order this or want this or anything. KTM made the decision.
Right. So it's a bit strange, but yeah, I think he'll be fine. Like you said, he actually looks super spicy there in the middle of that race.
Mm-hmm.
Cut Jett's time down a little bit, maybe a second or 2 seconds, with maybe 5 or 6 minutes to go, which hasn't really been done that much. I said it after, I think it was Birmingham, was that where him and Kenny had the good battle?
Yep.
Birmingham?
Yep.
He has that, I'm starting to see some of that, straight line speed coming back. And that's definitely a good sign. I think,
mm-hmm.
Obviously they're making gains with the bike and stuff. And I think, it just takes time to make that switch from brand to brand. And I don't know, maybe he underestimated that a little bit. But I think he's getting better.
Yeah, so I did a podcast with Keir, his dad, and Dad said we underestimated the switch of frames, aluminum to steel.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know that it's just aluminum to steel. I mean, you look at guys that have changed in their career. The 1 year Eli went to Cowie, it took him. I know he was coming off an injury, but it still took him some time. Just
mm-hmm.
looking out over a different fender, and these guys are on such a high level and such a fine line that when anything changes, they notice. So then you expect them to go and put, a whole new bike that, before they knew every single thing it was going to do if they hit a freaking gum wrapper, and now you expect them to go do the same thing in an off season, which is realistically 10 weeks, 12 weeks max. Right out of the box. It's just tough, man. It's way understated how hard that really is.
Yeah, absolutely. Zach Osborne here on the Fly Racing Moto 60 show. Plum Creek Funding, please check those guys out. The rates are looking all right these days, and Plum Creek Funding can help you out, whether it's a new purchase, whether it's a pulling equity out, whether you got a vacation home like Zacho. Contact a professional with over 25 years of experience, Zach Morris, ZACH at plumcreekfunding.com. Please check out Plum Creek Funding if you need some home lending opportunities. He's done a lot for people in the industry. And thank you to the folks at Vertex Pistons as well. Vertex Pistons is premier choice for aftermarket pistons, gaskets, and complete engine rebuild kits for ATVs, UTVs, and, of course, dirt bikes. Manufactured in Italy, Vertex Pistons are both cast and forged. Gaskets are made in the USA.com. AllBallsRacingGroup.com. Combination of the finest aftermarket brands out there. Vertex Pistons, thank you to those guys for coming on the show. 702-586-7857. We got a few lines open for Zacho. So do you think, this has been said before, but you just talked about the dirt at Denver and Salt Lake. Does this help Chase or hurt Chase, or he's just so good that he'll keep on powering up here in the last two? Because it's been simply amazing. Chase Sexton has not been fastest in any one single qualifier all year.
Yeah, I think if they finally found some sort of quote unquote base, and he can just kind of build on that each weekend, I think he keeps getting better. If they're still changing stuff and still searching super hard, which I kind of doubt at this point in the year, with just how close it is to the end, there may be, they've maybe struck on something and they're trying to just kind of finish it out. But I think in the end, he'll be fine. I think he gets a little bit better this weekend and, continues to improve.
All right, let's take a phone call. We have David on one. David, what's up? You want to talk about Mitch Payton?
Yeah, I sure do, Steve.
Yeah.
I just want to let you know, I just every time he's on, I'm like you. I could listen to him for hours, tell stories.
Yeah, he's great. We had him on for an hour on Monday night, and I don't try to bug him too much, right? I mean, he's Mitch Payton. He's super fucking busy. But we talked the next day, and he thought it was awesome, and he had a great time. I said, hey, man, sorry for keeping you so long. And he was like, no, not at all. It's great. So, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess my question is, do you think there's anybody in the industry who has had a bigger impact, long-term, and had more relevance as far as, this guy, he was very much a reason why Honda's 125 program was fast. And, and in the 80s, he was just the dominant guy that was kind of behind the scenes in a way.
No.
Is there anybody who's had more influence than him?
Well, one thing you forget, and people don't know, David, so you're right on all of the racing part of things, right? All the things he's done racing. Yeah. What you don't know is whether it's Ricky, McGrath, Villapoto, he's helping them behind the scenes with, parental advice. He's helping them with financial advice. If they're a 450 guy and they're getting an offer from another team, they'll call Mitch to get his thoughts on it. I called Mitch to talk about a contract that I was negotiating with a sponsor and got his thoughts on it. Zacho, you never rode for him, but you talk to him every now and then, and you've gone on record, Zacho, as saying that, you were intimidated by him a couple times.
Oh, yeah. I think, in my opinion, in modern day motocross, he's definitely the most influential guy there is. I think he leveled up the whole sport when it went four-stroke because he was so much better and so far ahead of everyone else. And obviously just the pedigree of those plates on the door kind of speak for themselves, in my opinion.
Yeah. Did you ever talk to him about a ride?
I did as recent as 3 weeks ago.
Oh.
But I did have a chance in 2012 when I was coming back for the Supercross season in 2013. Yeah. I had a chance, but he was kind of holding out on me, and he wouldn't let me ride the bike. And all the other teams that I had, which was Suzuki, TLD, Geico, and him, he wouldn't let me ride the bike. And I was like, okay, well, I don't know if you're not serious or what, but I ended up taking the Geico team.
I bet you in his mind, he's like, my bike's good. You don't need to ride it. That's what he's thinking.
Yeah.
You know?
That's probably what it was. But I just chose the Geico deal.
Yeah.
But man, even now, I think the last couple of years have been really rough for them. But I think that their bike right now is at a really, really good level.
Yeah, and like I said too, Zacho, you know some of the behind-the-scenes stuff of things he helps people with. You know, just advice, you know, all that stuff behind the scenes, even for people who don't ride for him anymore. You know,
there's a couple of times in recent history where guys stopped racing and needed bikes, and you know he was there to pick them up. Like Joey had a lot of dealings with him last year with the Rick Ware thing, and he's just generally a solid dude, you know.
I know he told me one time about helping Joey out because I don't know if Rick wasn't going to pay or Rick wasn't going to buy the parts, or I don't remember exactly how it worked out. And he told me, Joey rode for me. I like Joey. He worked really hard. Happy to help him out. Do you know what I mean? Like he was just like, he you know, there's loyalty there, right? So.
Yeah, I think he's a very, very genuine, realistic guy.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Zacho, how?
Though there were some times where I thought he may actually stab me.
Yeah, I'm sure. Vegas 17. He probably would have stabbed you.
Yeah, that one.
Hey, so we're I don't know the date exactly, but we're a year out of Eli Tomac's Achilles heel in Denver in his home state while leading the race. He has made a nice comeback from that. He's got one win this year. But, dude, I could see him winning again, man. Like, he could win this weekend. Is Jett going to try to, like, absolutely close the gap and push it if Eli's in front? Probably not. What a cool story if Tomac could pull this off.
Yeah, I think it's a kind of a Cinderella story in the making. I think he's super comfortable there, even though it's not, you know, everyone thinks it's a home race. It's pretty far from his house. Mm-hmm. He always used to say when I was there, like, that Phoenix was more of a home race just because it's closer, but definitely has a ton of fan support. And the dirt there's kind of terrible, like what he rides on a lot at his house. And I think it's something he's really comfortable with. So I see him coming out with a little bit of revenge in his heart this weekend for what happened there last year. And, getting the job done, honestly.
The guys that run Supercross would love nothing more than Tomac to pull this win off. You know, it's such a story, right?
It's a big story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, what's it like racing at altitude? Whether it's Lakewood, whether it's I don't think you ever did Denver. I wasn't around. Maybe it was.
I did Denver in 19.
Okay. What's it like racing altitude?
I never had any issues with it. I did actually get pretty torched the year that I stayed at Eli's house, just by like living in the altitude. Mm-hmm. But I always kind of excelled in altitude at Denver or at Lakewood, and it's it just hurts a little bit more, honestly. That's all I can really say. You get a little bit higher in the heart rate zone, a little quicker, and that makes for a little bit longer main event. Yeah,
listen, there's a reason, like. Tomac's an all-timer, and he's a beast, and, you know, his dad's pedigree and all that. But there's a reason also why he's such a beast, and it is living and growing up out there. Same as, like, the Olympic athletes train out in Vail, I think, and there's a Colorado Springs. There's an Olympic training thing. Like, it's an advantage. It is an advantage. Do you believe that?
I do, 100%. Yeah. I think that there's a lot to be said for his upbringing, not only, you know, in the altitude, but also – just with his dad and his knowledge. And he's one of the smarter people that I've ever met in terms of chassis and geometry and all of those things go. So I think that them two as a whole package is pretty unstoppable. But I also think that a lot of his fitness and just beast mode tactics come from being just living there in the altitude and being raised in that zone. And man, he's pretty gnarly.
So let me ask you this: that's I didn't plan this, but you talked about John being really good at that stuff. You know, bicycle career, knowing dirt bikes. He won Loretta's as a vet, like he knows how to ride. Is he on the level of a Dave Arnold? I mean, that's high praise. So, we don't need.
So let's take that from a practicality standpoint. I would say yes.
Okay.
I think I worked with Dave, and John had a little bit of influence on me while I was at their house.
Mm-hmm.
But I think John, like I said, from a practicality standpoint of let's do this and see how it works off the computer, I think John's maybe better.
Okay.
Dave is great. Dave has incredible ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Helped me to 2 or 3 of the 4 championships that I won. But at the same time, you have to keep it practical, and you have to do things that weren't doing outside of the computer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Dave will keep looking at stuff forever, and sometimes maybe even get lost a little bit, right? Because he's always trying to do that.
And we went through that a little bit at Geico with Dave and with Laraco and some tension and whatnot. But I think John is that level of mind. Maybe he doesn't have an engineering degree, but maybe that helps. You know what I mean?
Interesting. Jason Anderson's better ride in Philly. Is that just the case of the dirt? Just he's better because it was harder packed dirt?
I don't think so, because we've had some hard packed races like Nashville.
Okay.
Even, I don't really buy that. I don't know. To me, Jason has looked like a little bit flat the last few races, last 5 or 6 races. Just doesn't seem to have that snap, spunk that you normally see out of him. And I don't know if he was sick or maybe just in, some sort of training phase or whatever, but he looked better. He looked more snappy. He looked more interested this weekend to me, and I think that's always going to net you a better result.
You feel like then some more podiums in these last 2?
I think it's possible. Yeah. He has to be a little bit better starter. I would say I'm completely spitballing on my butt, but I would say his average start is somewhere between 8 and 11 this season. I don't think he can start there very many times and be on the podium, but with a 5th place start or a 6th place start, I think he can challenge up there.
Okay, so Anderson's average white stripe position this year, 8.5.
Okay, well, it's close.
Yeah, not far off. Jett's is 5.2. He's the best in the class. So
right, but I think that those 3 positions are a huge thing in track position.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm just pointing out.
You're like 6 seconds behind the leader at the line instead of 11, and that's massive.
Yeah, absolutely. Zach Osborne here on the Fly Racing Moto 60 Show, flyracing.com. Please check him out. Get some gear. It's the same gear Zach Osborne won all his championships with, and that's not a coincidence. He wouldn't have won anything without Fly Racing. I don't think so.
That's right.
702-586-7857. Got some few lines open. Giving away a pair of 100% goggles as well as a 5-point pivot knee guards from the folks at Fly Racing. Hunter Lawrence's season, he qualified quickest in Philly. Jett fell on his last lap, but still, Hunter got it. He's gotten on the box. He's won a heat race. kind of slowly coming together a little nicely, Zacho.
Yeah, I think it looks way different without the first turn thing with Vince.
You think that set him off just that way? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he took a big hit, to the head and to the body. And, when you're coming out of training camp or boot camp or whatever you want to call it, and you're in a pretty fragile state as far as, load, and just your body has been through a lot in the past 8 weeks, a hit like that can really take it out of you for a while. And then he had another injury that missed a couple races. And I feel like it kind of feels like my rookie season where I missed some races in the beginning and had some decent races, had some crashes, whatever. It's definitely been less than what I thought it would be, but he's gaining momentum. He's building. I think his ceiling is pretty high, personally, but it's definitely kind of left a little bit to be desired. So it was nice to see him get a heat race win. That's just like it is in the lights class. That's part of checking those boxes to getting to win. And I think he already has 1 podium this season. It was a little bit of
gift,
not lucky, but it's sure it happened. That's what it is. So I think that Hunter has a lot left in the tank and a lot more to show, but taking all the factors into consideration of what he's been through this season, I think he's right where he needs to be.
You ever qualify quickest in 450 Supercross, Zacho? I wonder. Not that it really matters. But, yeah.
Houston 121 maybe. I don't remember.
Okay. Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say, like you said, it's one of those things you got to check the boxes, right? Heat race, pole position, all that stuff.
I was never a great Q guy though. Especially once I got the Aldens, we just did a lot of laps. I was better at Q earlier in my 250 career because I did a lot of single laps because it was kind of my thing. But once I got the Aldens, we really never did anything less than like 3 or 4 laps, and that was kind of what I was stringing together in practice, was like more race trim stuff. So if I was in the top 3 or 5, I was pretty content.
All right, sounds good. Well, before we let you go, let's bring in our other guest here following you from Main Event Moto, some guy named Daniel Blair. What's up, DB?
What's up, boys? How you doing?
We're good, man. Just talking about Zacho, talking about Denver this weekend. But Zacho, before we let you go, do you have your predictions for this weekend?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Eli in the 450 class.
Oh,
and then I'm gonna go. I think this weekend decides the 250 championship. For all intents and purposes, but I think Kitchen with a big bounce back win is my prediction.
Okay.
They go in 1 point apart.
Now, I wanted to get you both on the line because we did talk about the 250 E Series last week on the show. You two were the guests. I asked you how many points does Tom need to feel comfortable with ahead of Deegan. Daniel, you said 25. Zacho, you said 15, I think, and it's 15.
I said 15.
Yeah,
and it is 15. Yeah.
And it's 15. So, you feel pretty good about Tom's chances here?
Yeah, I do. I mean, like, barring something like happened to Kitchen, which is possible.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think he's pretty solid. I think he's definitely thinking about it, maybe losing some sleep over it. 25 would have been a better number, but I think 15 is pretty comfortable.
Daniel, do you stay with 25?
No, I'm good with 15. The 25 was just in case of silliness, you know what I mean? But in a straight-up normal situation, 15's pretty healthy. It means you're looking for like a major outside variable to shake it up. And Tom's been pretty good this year. Even in the first turn at the first one, he was able to sort of recover. Did he get to 15? Or what did he get to that night? Because it would take something like that to ruin this.
Yeah, he got somewhere up there. But I did ask him to come on Monday's Pulp Show, and he said, I'd rather not until after Salt Lake. So
fair enough.
Hey, don't go to dinner with Steve either.
Yeah. But no, Zacho, that's fair. Yeah, you're like you said, right? If you're in a championship hunt, you just don't want to, I guess, go on an janky internet radio show, Zacho?
Yeah, 1 point's not comfortable, I can tell you that.
Yeah, exactly right. Fair enough. Thank you, Zacho. Appreciate the time, buddy, and we'll talk next week.
Yep, thank you.
All right, see you later. That's Daniel Blair. That's Zach Osborne. Daniel Blair, Main Event Moto, and Orange Brigade, and God knows what else. Eras as well.
Hey, Eras, dude. I just got done watching the new Eras with Steve Matthews and Chris Kiefer, dude, and I got to say, you made me proud, but I'm livid with Kiefer. I want to get that out of the way right
okay.
now. I'm not happy with Kiefer one bit, but good on you, dude, and good on you to choose like the most terrible track of all time, man. That was brutal. Like, why did you choose that place?
Wow. John there was a nice guy to let us come out, but I think we were under the impression there would be grooming and water. And then we show up, and John was like, "Yeah, sorry, man, couldn't do it." You know.
Oh man!
But we still appreciate him letting us do it. But yeah, it wasn't an ideal track. Let's face it that way. We thought the whole neutral ground would go over very well. We'd never been there, each of us. You know. So we thought the neutral ground thing would work. But he also jumped the start. I'd like to tell you on the 80, he jumped the start. It's the video footage of that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he did that, and also his fake cutting the track / scare you into falling, because he could have blasted you in that corner.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, between cutting the track and then being not aggressive enough in certain spots and then not playing the track right and you punking him off that sandy corner. I mean, I was just blown away by his a lack of able to get it done on the 90. I couldn't believe it.
Well, your video looks pretty silly now, doesn't it, DB?
Oh yeah, that's why I'm pissed, dude. I stuck my neck out. I was like an idiot.
Hey, what's the next eras coming out? What do we got?
We just dropped that last one.
Yeah, RV versus Carson Brown, yeah.
On the 500, and the next one is TBD. We're working on some really cool guests, or cool rivals for Carson, but we don't have it buttoned up just yet. But we got some good ones in the works.
All right. Well, you let Carson. If Carson wants to race me on a 60, I'll do that. Because we already know the 80. I'm fucked. You know?
Yeah.
Dude, he was ripping on that 80, and I'm like, I'm in trouble. The 80 was the bike I thought I could beat him on going in.
Yeah, so and I did too. I just thought that the 125, even if slow, he would be able to be aggressive enough on it to make up the ground. Where the 85, I thought, with just his legs and his feet in the way, like I didn't think he'd be able to move on that as well. But he actually ripped that thing pretty good. So
he did, yeah. No, it was a rough deal. All right,
cool. It was a good video. Hey, it was a good video. I was thoroughly entertained. So
thank
good
you.
job, guys.
That's all we wanted to do.
Yep.
Who really cares who won, or whatever? But yeah, we wanted to entertain. So. By the way, ZulzBagCo.com, Pulp24 code to save at ZulzBagCo.com, ZULZ, official bag of the Triumph guys, Ford Performance as well, Travis Pastrana. High quality, real world use functionality are just a couple reasons why Zulz works, and they have got you covered with backpacks, travel roller bags, gear bags, and more. Thank you to Zulz, ZULZ, Pulp24 code to save with them. And Decal Works, PulpMX24 is the code to save at DecalMX.com. Thanks to Sean for coming out in the video. Yesterday in Barstow, Decal Works, official graphics of Red Bull, KTM, Husqvarna Off-Road, and more. Thank you to Decal Works, Pulp MX24, code to save. All right, DB, let's talk 250s. Talk mostly 450s with Zacho. Okay, Kitchen, RJ, obviously Max Anstey won last week, and that's awesome. Good job for him. And somehow Vial and Deegs both blew their start, but they were so good in coming through the pack. I'm interested. We've seen RJ, he just crushed at the showdown. Kitchen's been the best guy all year with the most wins. But I see more potential, DB, for a Max Anstey type of spoiler here with Joe or Jordan or someone else, right? The rest of the field is closer to these two guys?
Yeah, for the main event win this weekend, for sure. I feel like when two dudes are wrapped up in a title hunt together, they're so focused on each other that things can sneak up on them, like a Joe Shimoda win, which I think I wouldn't say likely, but I think that's super possible.
It's on the gate for sure. Yeah.
It is. I mean, it's late in the season. We know the MO there, so I think that he is going to be good there. So will Jordan, who's probably furious that he's not in this title fight anymore because he was one of the guys that should have been in it. But man, I'm excited to see RJ and Levi go at it. My only question, and you'll probably never get the answer out of Levi, is how are the ribs, like on a scale to 1 to 10? Are you good, or is it going to be a little bit of an issue?
Yeah, from what I know, I think he's fine.
Okay, because that would kill him in elevation.
Yeah.
It's hard to breathe anyway, and if you're doing anything where you're having to rap or you're having to be conscious of your breath, you chose the wrong 2 rounds to have a rib issue. So if he's good, then let's get it on. It's going to be good because RJ's good in Denver. He won there last year. He's surprisingly a really good hard pack guy. Just from being from Florida, you wouldn't expect that, but I really like RJ in these last 2 rounds, but Kitchen has been phenomenal all year. So if he's fine, then let's get it on, man. It's going to be a battle.
Do you have a favorite? Or I think it's too close to call, right? Because you still got the
showdown. Yeah. The showdown is going to be wild. Especially if it's tight. If they go in tight, then who knows? There's so many variables that are going to come into play then. But I guess I'm just focused on this weekend alone. I do feel like whoever wins this one will have a little bit of a flex going into the final round, just mentally. So not that this one's going to decide, but this one's going to definitely play a role in how the two approach Salt Lake. So I think they got to win this one or beat the other.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Yeah, it should be interesting. I mean, like I said, this one's just prime for someone getting in the middle of this thing. Someone upsetting them, someone getting in the middle. There's too many good guys in this class. So
yeah, and the East too. I'll tell you what, the East. I know we've had injuries; it got depleted out a little bit. But with Jalik having a great ride, Pierce was on it. Hammaker was riding, maybe the best we've seen all year. It was the perfect environment to inject into the madness of that 250 title. Now they all crashed everywhere, so that Tom and Hayden didn't really have to go through them. They all kind of just fell apart in front of them. But those types of environments probably will play a role, at least in the showdown, and then maybe even this weekend, because Joe's not going to just sit this one out, and neither is Jordan. And I think there's other guys on the gate, too, that are going to take advantage of the dry, like Juju. I think Juju's going to be better on some dry hard pack. So there's guys that are looking for something late in the season for their own careers and their own resumes, and they don't give a damn about RJ and Levi. So it's going to be fun. I can't wait.
702-586-PULP. We got some phone calls for Daniel Blair here. First up, it is Jaden. What's up, Jaden?
What's up, boys? How you guys doing?
Good.
Good.
I just got a question for Blair on how he views the NorCal Moto scene to now, and to compare how he was coming up as a pro, and just want him to talk about how he sees the NorCal Moto scene as of right now. Before moving to South Carolina. Sorry.
That's actually a good question. So for me growing up, I mean, there was Talon Volin and Steve Lamson. Those were like NorCal legends. They were in their prime. They were winning races. They were superstars in the sport. And I was lucky enough to get to be with them and ride with them. They would come to my house and ride Supercross. So I got a front row seat of like the elite of Northern California. And then honestly, it just went through an extreme dry spell for a long time. Obviously, Max Volan's kind of been the hope now. Michael Mosman a little bit too, as far as kind of keeping NorCal relevant. But right now, today, there's a bunch of fast mini kids coming out of there. A bunch of them are on my roster, and they've won Loretta.
Nice.
And they win multiple titles. So the truth is Northern California, between Aiden Steinbrecher, Nolan Ford, Alex Campili, Jaden Smart, all these kids, it's probably the most talented NorCal has been in a long, long time.
Oh, okay. So you see it on the upswing then. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We just need someone from NorCal to just represent again. I mean, I'm from Santa Cruz area. I mean, we have Eric Swan. I mean, I think he's only competed at Hangtown, but I mean, he's really good at Loretta's, but, that's the only really NorCal guy that's from my area, besides from like
65s,
Sagtown area.
65s and 65s and 85s right now is stacked with talent, and a lot of them are coming out of California, especially the Sac area. So, no, it's strong.
All right, cool. Thanks for the call, Jaden. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks. Jason, what's going on? What's your call? What's your question?
Hey, I called in a couple months ago. I was just kind of joking with this one, but I feel like you and I need to silently celebrate a win, because I asked when the Lawrences were going to quit snobbing the media, and it seems like ever since then they've been doing, it seems like everybody, whether it's you or Jamie or somebody's got them after the races now. So I just thought that was kind of a...
Yeah, they are doing more stuff after the races. You're right. I don't think they're super stoked on it, but they are doing it. Yeah, you're right. Yep.
And then I tweeted you this morning, earlier today, about Christian Craig potentially going to Firepower or something.
Yeah.
So Dino's retiring, and it looks like Max is going to Star. So that team's just gonna go no longer. Or
I don't know. As I said in that tweet, I don't know if they're going to be around. There's lots of talk about Uriv not coming back. You said, they are losing their riders. I think Marty Davalos is trying to do something. But, it's tough, right? So I would not be surprised to not see them back next year.
Yeah, I just thought Craig would fit well on a Honda team somewhere. It seems like he did well on that.
Yeah, for sure. Daniel, where do you see Christian going next year? What would be a good home?
Well, I mean, what's he want to do? Is he all guns a-blazing, ready to keep going? I don't know him well enough. Is that the plan? He wants to keep racing?
I assume so, but I don't really know, to be honest. Yes.
I mean, yeah, if he did, the Firepower team, that looked like a good one. I don't know, Club MX. I'm blindsided by that because I haven't thought about his future. He's been gone for a while, so I completely forgot about him in the present, which is not great. But I don't know. I just forgot. I completely forgot, and I don't know his motivation moving forward because I don't know what's up with his body. He had to go in and get a surgery redone or whatever. Mm-hmm. So. I don't know. HEP probably for sure. A Firepower-like team. Mm-hmm. Maybe Smart Top. If Smart, I don't know. Is him and Tony cool?
Smart Top doesn't do the whole season, so I think with Christian, you want to race all year, right? So
yeah, that's true. So I don't know. That's a good question, though.
All right, Jason. Hey, the good question.
Thank you.
Yeah. Do you want to pair 100% goggles?
Oh, sure, absolutely.
All right, stay on hold. All right, we'll give them to you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for calling 702-586-7857. Give us a call. Daniel, have you ever raced in altitude? What's it like?
It's hard. I think it's really race dependent. I've had motos where I've gotten a good start, got out front. There's not a lot going on, and you don't really feel it. But then I feel like if you get into a battle or you make some big mistakes or you kind of have something that shakes up your moto, you just, you'll have that 30-second burst of kind of like you'll send it through something, you'll go for it, and then you can't breathe because you hold your breath for 30 seconds. So for me, it's about management. You really have to just continue to breathe, because the second you forget, it can jump on you. And if you get out front and have no issues, it's easy to manage. But for me, it's been hot and cold. Like winning motos, no problem, and then losing motos, usually can't breathe. So really, really race dependent, depending where you're at in the track.
We dove into this with Zacho a little bit, but let me ask you, arm pump. How does Cooper Webb get arm pump? Like, he's won all these races. He doesn't care about finishing. Like, he's in second. Everything's good. Track's easy-ish. How does he get arm pump? How does that happen for a racer?
Hey, how weird was that to hear? I've never heard that really from him. And I think I listened to an interview with him after the race, and he talked about how he was working on sprint speed, and he's trying to get his sprint speed like all week. And to me, it looked like maybe there was a thought here that he needed to match Jett earlier in the race so that he could be around in the later stage of the race and have his shot, because that's where he's going to work all his magic, right? It's always going to be at the very end of the race, but you got to be close enough to do it, and he wasn't close enough the week before. So to me, it looked like maybe he was just trying to be sprintier earlier and kind of push a little harder and then just pumped up. So I don't know if it's like an issue that he's facing all year that he hasn't been talking about until now, or if that was just, hey, I'm trying to go faster earlier and I wasn't really ready for that, or just my body doesn't react that well when I push that hard early. I don't know, but it was very odd to hear that for sure.
Yeah, it is weird to see a guy do that, but I mean, like I told Zacho too, like I'm a shitty rider, but if I come up short on a jump or whatever, and I grab the bars and I case it really hard, boom, arm pump. Maybe it's as simple as that. Maybe he's just like all of us vet guys, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, and it's a lot of it's from holding on too tight, and a lot of holding on too tight is when you have it ridden for a while, you're naturally a little more afraid, so you squeeze on a little tighter. The bike don't want to get out from underneath you, or at the same time, I know that for a lot of riders, arm pump doesn't just come from holding on tight. It's from having to pull themselves back up to the bar, like as if maybe the bike's pulling them back, so they're using a lot of arm strength instead of core strength to stay up front. So, maybe it was something like that, but I would lean towards he was pushing to be faster, harder earlier, and once it wasn't happening, maybe took a chance or two. Next thing you know, it's like kaboom! Like the arms are just they just blow up. So I would lean towards that if I'm guessing.
FlyRacing.com. Please check them out. Official gear of Daniel Blair, who is back on a bike now. I don't know if this is a Loretta's attack in 2025 or okay.
Just fun.
Okay.
Just for fun.
How's the ankles and the feet?
Dude, they're good. So that's why I'm riding. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm falling apart, dude. I'm falling apart. And I went to the doctor. I got bad arthritis. I got low T. I was in the 300s though, Steve. I know you'll be proud of that. I was in the low threes.
Okay.
So I had all these levels off, and I'm like, I got to get my health right, but I can't just do it for no reason. I'm not going to go to the gym. Riding is the only thing interesting to me that makes me want to get my body going again and be better. So I'm actually using it more as therapy, just to keep myself accountable, because I can't ride unless I'm stretching and kind of keeping care of myself. So it's actually just a way for me to take care of my body a little bit better.
All right. Well, good enough. Good to hear that. PulpMX 24 at Seat Concepts. Whether you're hitting the motocross track, gearing up for a trek across the country, Seat Concepts has a seat for you. At seatconcepts.com, PulpMX 24 is the code to save. They have a wide variety of seat options, from stylish replacement covers to complete seats, as well as various height and width profiles. Each seat incorporates proprietary foam formulation as well. Seatconcepts.com. Check them out. Maxxis tires as well. Maxxis.com. Fast Freddy Norn using Maxxis tires. Cade, Maxxis tires, and more. Maxxis.com. We'll talk about the LCQ race here too before we go with DB, because I want to get his thoughts on the format and the chaos we're trying to create. But Daniel, just 1 year ago, we all saw what happened to Tomac in his home race, and man, the guys at Feld and the sport in general would love to see a Tomac win in Colorado this weekend. And you know what? I could see it happening, man. I really could. What about you?
Yeah, I could too, and I want it to happen. Like I said, I've never been like a root for Eli guy. I've always just respected him, but I've never been his number one fan. But I want him to win this weekend, and it's just last year was weird, man. That was a terrible feeling. It didn't even feel real, and I can only imagine what he felt and his family felt, because we were all devastated just watching. So for him, I can't imagine what that night felt like. Just the whole thing falling apart right there in the weirdest way. So if we could go back to the same building, and it'll be loud. Everyone's fired up this year. The turnouts have been great. I would love for him to just whole shot and smash these dudes. Like it would be so. It's a little bit of closure. From what happened a year ago. Like a little bit.
Yeah.
So I want it. I'm all Eli this weekend.
You're in.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I could see it. I really could. He's good on this hard pack stuff. It's altitude. Jett's got a 12-point lead. He has to worry about Coop. I could see it. So
me too. And Chase too. I feel like Eli and Chase are going to squeeze these last two pretty hard because Jett, if he is able to play with this points lead and just keep an eye on Coop, dude, you got Eli and Chase who are, I think, both very desperate to end this thing strong. Chase for different reasons, but I could see them bringing their absolute best these last two, while Jett, pretty much, like you said, he's going to focus on Cooper pretty much from here on out.
All right, we got Adam on 3. We want to talk about Coop. Speaking of that, Adam, what's up? What's your question about Cooper Webb?
To me, these last few races have kind of ruined Webb's legacy as being clutch and late race, and I wanted to know what your guys' thoughts are on that.
I don't think it's ruined it. He's up against an all-timer or somebody that we think's going to be an all-timer.
But isn't he supposed to be the all-time clutch rider to pull through when it's
yes,
the dog days?
Well, yes, but you look at the wins he's got this year. That's what he kind of did, right? Like late
I
in the
would
race.
say at end of the season falling apart is the opposite, though.
Okay, Daniel?
It's not going to ruin his legacy because he will always be known as just like that late race last lap. I mean, when you have the Roxon Arlington 0.1 victory, you'll always be remembered as the guy who can bring it late in the last corner and clutch. But that doesn't mean you nail it every single time. And I don't think your question is way off base because he has kind of had an issue closing these things out lately, and it's not the same. But the variables are different. I mean, every circumstance is going to be a little bit different from the next one, and most of the time he is able to pull these things off. But yeah, he's going up against someone that's different. It's not Ken Roxon, who was the guy he took advantage of a lot in the later stages of races in the past. This is Jett, and so no, I think he's given it his all. He's given everything he has. Obviously, he's trying to sprint. He's trying to do everything to pull this thing off, but he's going up against someone who is physically better than him and physically faster than him, and he can't really use his weapon on Jett late in the race because he's not close enough. And now these other guys are starting to pick on him late. So, yeah, you're right. It's a bad look, but it will not affect the legacy.
Yeah, Adam, I think, I'm with Daniel.
It works for everyone besides Jett.
Or just, you can't do it every single time, So, thanks for the call, though. Do you want a set of Fly Racing knee guards?
Yeah, sure. That'd be cool.
All right. We'll stay on hold. We'll get them to you. All right, Fly Racing, 5 pivot, 5 point. What?
5 pivot.
5 pivot knee guards. Okay, got it. Daniel, do you need these, or do you have knee braces?
Nope. I wear those Travis Pastrana, the EVS 199s.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and I remember I'm missing an ACL in one knee. The other knee's bad too, and I love those things.
All right, let's get to Timothy on 1. What's up, Timothy? You got a question about the LCQ Challenge race?
Not a question, but a suggestion.
All right.
So you've already talked about like people might hold back in the first race so they get a better start position in the second race.
Uh-huh.
What if you make the tiebreaker their finish on the first race, so that way they have to push the whole time?
You could, but I kind of like the fact that the first place guy has to get through second place guy off the staggered start. That's going to be really hard to do, and if you can do it, you should be rewarded for it. So.
Okay,
All right.
I guess. And my second point is the only thing, you have to redo your race with Kiefer because he did jump the gun on the 85.
Thank you. Yeah, we're working on it. Officials are going to review the footage.
I already reviewed it.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Timothy. I agree. So does Pookie. Thank you. Daniel, so my race tomorrow, I don't know if you got a chance to look at the entrance or not. I put them on social media.
Oh, yes.
We are doing 2 5-minute main events. First main event, gate drops, just wave them, 5 minutes plus a lap. Second main event is the staggered start. 20 seconds starts up front. First goes to the very back, and we start them again. Olympic-style scoring. Lowest score wins. Tiebreak is the second Moto. Let the fucking chaos reign, Daniel.
Dude, I am so happy for this format. Like, I when you first told me, this is a couple months ago, you told me, I couldn't believe it because I used to race in NorCal, these bounty hunter races where you would pick the 10 fastest guys of the night, put the fastest guy in the back, and bid them off to the crowd. They were awesome, and they created chaos. It was madness. I mean, that's where a lot of me and Rusty Holland's issues came from. We're in these bounty hunters back in the day. And when you told me that you're going to do this with 22 guys and then do a two-moto format to where, I mean, I understand the strategy, right? Oh, don't do as good in the first one. Okay, so what, get 10th and then be in the middle?
Yeah.
That's terrible. That's terrible. So, no, I think the strategy, honestly, is win the first one. Like, you got to put the one on the board just because you need the one. And then you got 5 minutes to get through, I would say, the 3 or 4 guys right in front of you matter the most.
Yep.
And if you could get through them, then you just don't die. And so, no, I really, really love what you did, and I can't believe they're letting you do this. Do they not know what's coming?
I don't know. Yeah.
Amazing.
It's going to be great. I just hope that the timing and scoring's all set up. I've been trying to go back and forth with the AMA guys. Like, hey, we need this. We need these results ASAP. We got to have calculate it really quick. All of that stuff. So
yeah. Hey, what was I going to say? So who's the favorite? Is Hill's in this thing?
Hill's in this thing. He made it. He passed K to the last round in Philly.
That's right. Oh, man. See, he's scary good. But then again, he's going to have to go through everybody to make it work. It's not like he can just beat him in speed. So And it's not that long. 5 minutes is not that long. So, no, it's an incredible format. I'm so glad you're doing it that way. And I know you change it every year, but if this one really works, dude, let's just make this the staple.
We'll just do it. And I put all the wild cards. I put 250 guys as all the wild cards because the last 2 years of this race, the wild card guys, Josh Cartwright last year, Chiz the first year, they've won the damn race. So I said, you know what? The wild cards are 250 guys.
Oh, it's good, dude. It's really good. I'm excited. I wish I could go. My plan was originally to go and continue my tradition as the podium interview guy for the race, but I'm going to go visit some family this weekend, but I can't wait for tomorrow, man. I know this sounds so lame, but I'm more excited about that right now than I am Saturday because it's just I'm going to be able to relive those bounty hunter days, man. And I can't wait to see who smashes who and who's mad after and then who gets the money. And is the money pretty good again?
Yeah, money's up there. Yeah, I think we'll have over 100 grand for 22 guys. So
that's awesome.
Keep buying tickets on pulpamex.com. You get a chance to win a 2024 YZ450F. Thank you, Yamaha, for doing this. Really, really cool. We got 21 other prizes, including a box of meat. So, you can please buy a ticket. But, Daniel, maybe you win.
Hey, that old Robbie Raynard moto score that won him, what was that back in the day?
He won with a 1.8.
A 1.8. Yeah. See, I could see a 1.8.
Yeah.
A 1.6.
Yep.
A 2.9.
I don't think the first guy. I think the first guy, if he gets up to 10th in 5 minutes, if he passes 11 guys, I think that's all you can do. You can't get higher than that.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying is it ain't going to – I mean, the winner's going to probably be at the very top end of single digits. You know what I mean? Like 9 points overall, 8, 10 maybe.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to nail your first one, but the second one is going to be clutch. But I love how you're just putting them in different pressure points twice, different ways. And now it's going to be like a Raynard 1.8 or something like that's going to get it done.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think worse than that, but, somewhere around there. So, all right, Daniel, Fly Race and Moto 60 Show, give us your winners for Denver. Give us the winners for the LCQ race and then for Denver.
Justin Hill's scary to me. I mean,
Josh
him
Hill.
being in there.
Josh Hill.
Wait, Justin's not?
No, Josh Hill.
Oh, okay, my bad. I thought it was Justin Hill.
No, Justin Hill would smoke these dudes, I think.
That's what I was going to say. For some reason, I thought someone said him, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. I mean, no offense to the boys on the gate, but Justin is a champion.
Yeah, Josh Hill's in this. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll go. Oh, man. Jeez, dude. I want to be right on this one because this is just close to my heart. I don't know. I'll go with Harlan. I'm just going to go with Harlan.
Okay.
That's just the first thought that came to my head of someone that I think can nail both of them.
Yeah.
He does arena cross here and there, too, so I think he can survive a little. I'll go Harlan.
Okay. All right. And for the race on Saturday?
Eli for sure. And then I think Joe. Like, I really want RJ to win. I mean, it would be huge. You know, I work for the company, and I love RJ, and I love Nate Ramsey, and I really want this for them. They've worked so hard for this. So I want him, but I do feel like Joe's probably going to bring his best these last two. I could actually see Joe maybe winning the last two. So I'll go Shimoda.
Okay, fair enough, man. Well, hey, thanks for the time. Appreciate it. Will you be at Salt Lake?
I'll be at Salt Lake.
Okay,
Yep.
sounds good. We'll see you then. Thanks, Daniel.
Later, bro.
All right, see you. That's Daniel Blair, everybody, at Fly Racing Moto 60 Show. Get Vertex Pistons, 100% Zool, Seat Concepts, Plum Creek Funding, Decal Works, Maxxis Tires, and, of course, the great guys at Fly Racing. Marks, good job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Tits.
Yeah, man.
Phenomenal today.
Yeah.
Really good, man. Keep it up.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, buddy. Woo! All right. See everybody next Thursday. Buy a ticket. Support the privateers. LCQ Challenge.
When will